Hello, it's Nav, and welcome to the new edition of Discovery News. This is History of America with Ryan, Darwin, Ebe, and Nav, or Harden documentaries. Today we're going to talk about the weapons from the Civil War, including the cannons, guns, and the bullets. The first weapon we will talk about is the mini ball, which included many novel features that Ebe will talk about next.
The mini ball improved the range and accuracy of a normal rifle because when it was fired, it would spin due to the rifling or grooves in the barrel. The spin allowed it to cut through the air and in a way drill into whatever it came into contact with.
Hi, I'm Darwin.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're here to talk about the mini ball. The mini ball would rip through flesh and would splinter bones as it punctured the human body. The mini ball was made out of lead, which meant it was toxic and caused infections. Most of the time, when soldiers were wounded by a mini ball, they would need an amputation. Amputations were also a problem and caused infections during the war because doctors were not sanitary.
After the mini ball was designed by Claude Etienne Mini, the casualties raised drastically, with more than 200,000 soldiers killed and more than 400,000 wounded. The rifle, musket, and mini ball are responsible for around 9% of the deaths in the Civil War.
The next weapon is the cannon, which had many different types. For example, the 6-pounder gun and the 12 and 24-pound howitzer, all of which were very effective.
The cannons were effective because of the rifle-barreled artillery, which made the cannons more accurate and increased their max distance.
Cannons are especially useful when defending against large masses of soldiers, where one cannonball could take many lives. This weapon could also take an offensive tactic from the back line. The armies would fire the cannonballs into the other side's army, causing a lot of damage and allowing soldiers to push forward.
Cannons are heavy, but also need to be mobile. Unfortunately, most animals are scared of heavy gunfire. This led both sides to use mules to carry their heavy artillery and cannons. Unfortunately, mules would sometimes balk, injuring officers and damaging weaponry. One major figure in the history of artillery is John Gibbon. He was a teacher at West Point and ended the war as a Union general.
We'll be back after a short commercial break. Are you bold and have no friends? Well, come buy our wigs. They come in different assortments. You can get the curly hair, and you can get the straight hair. And with all these wigs, you can get many friends. Check it out.
Whoa, dude, you're epic. You're awesome. Do you want to be my best friend? I want to be your friend. It's amazing hair.
See what happens?
We're
Come buy our
awesome.
wigs, and you'll be the best. And now we will resume our show. Another weapon that we will talk about is the rifle. The specific rifle that we will talk about is the Colt revolving rifle.
The Colt revolving rifle had the greatest ammunition supply. It was very accurate, and the repeating action of the revolver gave the operator a distinct advantage in a gunfight. It had a rounded barrel with a metal frame for durability.
This new gun created a volley of fire so large that when the 21st Regiment used it against Confederate forces, they were convinced that they were fighting against an entire division of the Union Army and not just a single regiment.
Rifles also revolutionized the war. They were used by both sides and due to their unique rifles and their compatibility with mini balls. Fortunately, the Union side had more rifles than the Confederates.
One of the guns with the largest impact in the Civil War was the Gatling gun. It had a total of 6 barrels which fired bullets rapid fire. It was created by Richard A. Gatling. Dr. Josephus Requa and William Billinghurst also created the powerful gun too. Their gun consisted of 25 barrels, which were mounted on a light artillery charge. Their barrels were loaded with magazines containing 25 and 0.52 caliber brass cartridges.
The barrels in the gun would have to be hand cranked, and as the cartridges were put into the gun, each barrel automatically loaded and fired. Also, since the barrels shot once at a time, the gun was resistant to overheating. The gun could fire about 100 to 200 rounds per minute.
When Gatling made the gun, he felt that such an effective killing machine would make war too horrible and wars would no longer happen. When this didn't work, he continued to make it so that not as many men would be needed in the war.
By using the Gatling gun, he would gain a larger boost in firepower. This would allow a lot more than one wound in a person and many more casualties than a normal gun.
All these weapons were very important and used by both the Confederacy and the Union during the Civil War. Without the revolutions caused by these weapons, the battles of the war would have been very different. Not only did they create many revolutions, but they also created many casualties and deaths. In general, weapons were a huge part of the war. So, thanks for watching, and we will see you later on our next premiere.